It's your boy Van Man Chan. As you can tell, today's video is going to be a little bit different. So for the people who have watched my videos since I started making them, you know that I usually do a recap, and I haven't done a recap in quite some time, but today's recap is actually a very special one. Today marks 6 months of being on the road. Absolutely insane. Time has flew by and this journey has just been absolutely crazy. I say this a lot, you never know when you initially start something what can come out of it. So it's honestly been a wild ride. Usually when I recap my videos, I compare other things and different things, but I think this video is just going to be solely a trip down memory lane for me, for the people who've been watching, and for the new viewers to kind of get a grasp on what I do on this channel. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So I'm just gonna take it from the top. I'm really gonna categorize things by months. Gonna go June, July, August, September, October, November, and kind of just go over my whole entire journey, what I thought about it, what it's been like, and free-flowing discussion about it. So when I initially started this whole entire thing, I had no idea what to expect. I was kind of going into it like, yeah, this is what I want to do, and I'm gonna make it happen, but I had no clue that it was gonna be such a journey, such a long process, such a learning process and everything. You guys are probably like, what would you expect? And this is going to sound kind of weird, but I expected just to like start it and then everything was going to come from there and it was going to be pretty easy. But this whole entire journey has been far from easy, I'll tell you that. But I remember when I made my first video. If you haven't checked it out already, you gotta check it out. And just the process that went into making it. It took me a lot of tries to figure out what I was gonna say, and I was really not that comfortable in the camera, and the whole entire structure wasn't there. So I always look back at my first video as just like, this is how far you came. It's always good to look at where you started to where you're at right now to be like, hey, I did grow in some aspects. So it's always good to look back. It's always a good video. It's cool that when I filmed it at 7 Lakes, that was the start to this whole entire thing. Another huge video for me was my first video ever in Montana, and just my first video ever on the road in general. It's different when you're driving and you're not really familiar with the area. I feel like I probably would have been more comfortable going into a bigger city, you know, where there's a lot more going on, but going into Montana where it's just like, you know, Montana, and granted I was around Kalispell, Whitefish and all that, which is pretty poppin' areas. It was different adjusting, being away from home with this dream and with these goals that you want to accomplish, and it being like, oh my God. One, you're not going home, and what you've been talking about for the past couple months, it's finally here, and it's time to go. Montana was a really good adjusting period because I was able to get comfortable living in the van while at the same time trying to figure out how to make the best possible content. It was a really good experience for just workflow, being able to juggle being so far away from home, making videos, and just getting in the groove of, okay, this is what we're doing. A big plus for Montana was when all my friends came in, Brody, Tez, and Chase. We had so much fun. They were in, I'm pretty sure, for a week. Chase celebrated his birthday, and Tez, Brody, and pretty much all of them, that was like their first time really out in Montana besides Chase. So Tez and Brody, that was their first time there. And I remember just Tez being so shook and Brody just being so shook. We just had a great time. Our first ski resort hike, and we were above the clouds and just the absolute jaw-dropping views. Coming back down to the Super One and having "You can't sleep here" letters on our cars. That was pretty funny. Brody and them helping me figure out my power because I was having a lot of power issues then. We were able to figure out how to make it work. We had to get a new inverter. That was a really good time, and I'm really grateful for that because it was able to clear my head a little bit and also figure out my problems with my power. So that was a really big plus. And then also meeting up with Garrett and doing the Highline Trail and doing some hikes in Glacier National Park. I remember, I don't talk about this that much, and this is not on videos. You can't go back and see it. So this is a pure VMC story. So for my last hike in Glacier National Park that I did, Garrett was there. I had no idea that it was illegal to fly drones in national parks. Like I thought that it was just, you know, certain national parks you weren't allowed to do it. I didn't know that it was a rule for every single one of them. So I remember we did Iceberg Lake and I put up my drone and I got absolutely called out. Absolutely called out. This chick was ripping me a new one. She got a park ranger on me and the park ranger lectured me, but she was really nice. She ended up letting me go. But if you guys wondered like why I had a bunch of drone footage coming out in Montana, and then just like July and August. It really hasn't came back until quite recently. But if you were wondering why I wasn't posting drone footage for the longest, it was because she really scared me. She really just like put the fear into my heart of just like flying my drone. Like I did not want to encounter another person like that. Especially, I do a lot of my hikes in national parks, but after that, you'll never catch me flying my drone in a national park again. That was a very interesting, funny to look back at experience. And Garrett was there and he was shook, dude. Oh, it was hilarious. And it's just like the progression of what you get on video. Back then, I just didn't think that was appropriate to mention, but nowadays, I would have definitely thrown that in there and just get our reactions to the whole entire thing. So, you know, different experiences, different circumstances kind of shapes you and molds you of the content you put out. So this whole entire thing is just been a long learning experience. You look at my videos that came out in Montana versus videos that came out in Utah and Nevada, and you'll definitely see the difference. I would say, to sum up Montana, it was a huge learning experience, getting my feet wet, just realizing that this is the start to a long journey. And that transitioned very well into Washington. If you look at these months as just like stepping stones. In Washington in July, what came out of that was just another stepping stone. I took what I learned from Montana and I built off of that going into Washington for July. Washington was a very, very, very fun time. I love Washington. I did a lot of cool things out there. And this is why it's great to just reflect, because, you know, when you're making all these videos, you're just so go, 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 go. You really don't have time to just sit down and reflect on all the stuff that you did. And Washington was crazy. When I first got into Washington with Diablo Lake and just being in the North Cascades in that area, that was probably the most remote spot I've ever been to. At that point in time, I stayed a lot at this rest area, and I was just like, man, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I was kind of nervous, and I was just trying to get out there as soon as possible. But that really taught me how to handle just being in the middle of nowhere. And then after that, taking the ferry to the Olympic Peninsula, checking out Port Angeles, and doing Olympic National Park with Hurricane Ridge, and even doing the Haw Rainforest. That was really cool. And just learning the whole entire experience of filming. Like when I was doing the Haw Rainforest, I realized that my GoPro sucks in low light. So you're gonna get a bunch of shaky footage. So certain videos, it contributes to how I film today. After I got done with the Olympic Peninsula and made my way into the middle of Mount Rainier and Mount Adams and Mount St Helens, that's where my dad and Chase came out, and we had an absolute great time. That's when we did Mount Rainier, and my dad was absolutely gassed, and he kind of got himself a taste of what I actually do. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, you know, when I do these hikes, like, these are not easy hikes. Like, I'm hiking for miles with a bunch of elevation gains. So he thought it was going to be a cakewalk, but he got humbled pretty quickly. But he was able to make it to Panorama Point, and those views were absolutely beautiful. We were able to see Cascade Range, the highlights of it. We were on Mount Rainier. We got to see Mount St. Helens. We got to see Mount Adams, and we got to see Mount Hood. That was really cool. And then a couple days after that, we were sunrise summiting Mount St. Helens, and that was one of the most surreal experiences in my life. Like, I don't really talk about that much just because, you know, I'm always focusing on the next video, but Mount St. Helens, that video was one of the most fun, surreal, cool moments of my whole entire life, and one of the best parts of this whole entire journey. Just being able to do a mountain that I've done before, and it has a special place in my heart because I remember learning about it in 8th grade science from my teacher, Miss Nelson. Huge shout out to her. I can't find her, but I would love to say, like, hey, like, you know, you really inspired me to do this. But starting that hike in the pitch black, and then going up the scrambles in the boulder fields, just not seeing anything, just got this flashlight. I was absolutely hauling it. I remember a guy passed me, my dad and Chase, when we were stopping at like kind of like the break, and he got way up there, but I ended up passing him and summiting like 30 minutes before he did. So I was hauling it. But watching that sun rise on top of the mountain, it was honestly such a surreal experience I'll never forget in my life. If I were to recommend one video to check out, it would definitely be my Mount St. Helens video. That was a really fun video. After they left, it's just was teaching me how to deal with people leaving. You know, it's really hard when all you know is being with your family, and then coming out to being by yourself, and then you have these people come and visit you, and then they leave. It's hard. I was fortunate enough to be able to hike with my stepdad Steve's friend Eric, so that was fun, and Eric showed me a bunch of hospitality. I'm extremely grateful for that whole entire experience with them. So if you're watching this, shout out to you, Eric. That was had a great time. After Washington, after July, I'm starting to learn some actual good stuff and starting to develop the VMC style, and, you know, which I'm still developing to this day. But it's like I said, this is all just stepping stones to a bigger picture. So going into August, going into Oregon, it was a whole entire different feel. I think that that's when my channel really took a turn, is when I started doing stuff different with my intros. And Ben was a really big learning experience, just trying to figure out how to pack an episode full of highlights, full of cool stuff, full of just different editing and just different perspectives of the whole entire thing. So Ben was a huge stepping stone, and it was a really fun time. Really cool area in a very van life town. A lot of van life people out there. That's where I met 7-Eleven Scott, one of the biggest and best personalities I met, and the only person, I'm pretty sure, outside of my family that I've recorded and made an appearance on my channel. So huge shout out to 7-Eleven Scott, man. You're a big part of this whole entire thing. I love you, man. You're crazy. You're great, and I think that's what it's all about. Taking what I learned, and then my mom coming in for her birthday, being able to celebrate her birthday with her. That meant a lot to me, and I know that it had to mean a lot to her as well. Just being able to decorate the whole entire Airbnb for her birthday and just make her day the best day it possibly could. I have a really, really good relationship with my mom. She is like my best friend, so it really helped me out just as much as it probably helped her out to see each other. I'm really looking forward to seeing her this Christmas, but you know, I was able to take her to some of Oregon's best places with Multnomah Falls, Cannon Beach, Seaside, Mount Hood, Timberline Lodge. We had a great time, and memories for life, as I say. So that was really cool. Oh yeah, and then also taking them to Crater Lake. That was cool. So I gave my mom and Steve and everybody who came out like a really good Oregon trip. So that was really cool. Especially also seeing Steve too, man. I love that guy to freaking death, man. I would not be anywhere without them too. So a huge shout out to them. Glad that, you know, we have these memories. That's another thing about making these videos on YouTube. Win or lose, these are memories for life, memories forever, moments captured in video that we can always look back on, or I can always look back on and just be like, wow, I did that, and just so grateful. Just so grateful for the whole entire experience. And then after August, September was huge. September was probably one of my most favorite months on the road. This is when Bryn came out and visited me. Man, Bryn is a freaking rock star. I love her to death. She does so much for me. She sacrifices so much for me. She's honestly my best friend as well. Like I would not be anywhere without her, and we're really close. Always a great time when she comes out, and that was, I had such a fun time. We did so much stuff. We did, you know, Redwoods National Park, which was fun. We did like Lassen Volcanic National Park when it was raining and all that, and it was still fun. We kayaked at Lake Tahoe, and I hit 1,000 subscribers, and that's when I did my first ever news interview on the phone with, I'm pretty sure it was Tess Ware with the Livingston Daily. Huge shout out. She really got the ball rolling for me. But we did Tahoe, and then Yosemite, my hands down favorite national park. It was honestly the best moment of my life, just being in the park with Bryn, doing all the cool hikes, and actually sleeping in the van. I know you're not supposed to do this, but we were able to sleep in the park for 5 days without even getting caught. So it was such a fun experience, and it's probably one of the best ones I had on the road. But September was huge because after Bryn left and I made my way towards the Big Sur area, that's when I started really picking up traction with getting these news interviews. I ended up doing WNEM, WLNS, and ABC 12, which are top 15 of news stations in Michigan. So that kind of got the ball rolling for me there, and just getting comfortable doing news interviews and just being more confident in what I do. And then come October, I made my way down the coast. I spent most of my time in LA, which was an experience because what it taught me was that I need to work 10 times harder. When I see the street performers and I see the people, what they do out there, they're giving every single ounce of everything they have to making it, you know, and then some of them won't even make it. So it really was an eye-opener that I need to give every single thing I have to this, and really realize that, you know, everything falls on me. Like, I got to make this happen, and I got to work 10 times harder, and I got to figure out what that means to just push myself and keep getting better and better and better. That's what LA taught me, is that how competitive it is. So if you're not doing everything you possibly can, you're already losing. And then able to go to Las Vegas and meet up with Chase again for Halloween in Vegas. Now that was an experience. That was absolutely crazy. Fremont Street was jam-packed. It was so hard to walk, but it was such a cool experience, man. Way better than the Strip. The Strip was cool, and this is all coming from a person who can't even gamble. You know, I'm 20 now, but it was such a cool experience. Fremont, everybody in their costumes. It was so packed. The vibes were there. Such a fun time, such a good time. And it's always better when you get to spend it with family. So Chase coming out, that was amazing. And I was able to do an interview with WDIV, the #1 news station in Michigan, out here. So I cannot be more grateful for that. That took me into November, which is quite recently. For mine and Bryn's birthday, we did the Mighty Five, which was absolutely beautiful. Angel's Landing for her birthday. Then we went up to Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Arches, man. You cannot go wrong with any of them. Absolutely beautiful. Before Bryn left, the day that she was going, I did another news interview with WILX. After I dropped her off, I did another one with the Midland Daily. And then I went back to Moab. Moab's a really good city, very good van life city, and doing Dead Horse State Park. That was really cool. A lot of cool overlooks. And then I made my way to where I'm at right now. I'm in Las Vegas. Some people are probably wondering, like, why haven't you been uploading a lot more videos? Well, it's because I've been developing a plan for 2024. VMC 2024 is not leaving anything on the table. So I'm putting in the pieces now and really developing something good for the future. But, you know, right now, currently, I'm just making my way towards San Diego and getting ready to come home for the holidays to come back out on the road and start again and hit it even harder. So yeah, it's been such a journey. I kind of gave you guys the Cliff Notes version of the past 6 months. If you want to see what it's like, you go back, watch the videos. There's so much stuff out there. If you have any questions about advice or anything, just let me know down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer it. When I reflect on my whole entire journey, 6 states, 18 national parks, 10 news interviews. I just did one yesterday with Traverse City, up to 2,000 something subscribers now. And the channel just keeps on growing. So there's a lot to look forward to. I'm hungry. I'm never gonna lose this hunger. I'm gonna keep my foot on the gas, and I'm gonna make it happen. I fully believe in my ability to do that. But I can only do so much, and I'm only one person, so I keep on saying this, but I'm truly so grateful for each and every one of you for being by my side throughout this whole entire thing. You don't know how much it truly means to me. Without you guys, I would be nothing. Nothing. You guys give me an audience to put out my videos to. You give me a reason to work harder every single day. You give me the reason to be better every single day, just to create better content for you guys to watch and to make content that you guys genuinely enjoy, and not just watching my content because of who I am. Maybe you know me, maybe I'm family, or maybe I'm a friend, but just to watch my content and actually enjoy it. That's the bigger goal. And there's so many things that are going to be coming. There's so many things I'm going to be looking forward to that, you know, I can't name all of them off the top of my head, but just know that things are coming, and I'm super grateful for each and every one of you. And this is truly just the beginning to this whole entire thing. I feel like, you know, I learned a lot, and you guys can see that the videos are getting better from the first one I put out to the last one I put out. Grateful for being out here every single day, grateful to be doing this, and like I said, grateful to have an audience. Not the most traditional type video, but I want to kind of recap of this whole entire journey for myself, for the viewers who've been here, and for the new viewers to just get a grasp of who I am and what I've done. It's been great. I think I'm going to end the video right here. New videos coming out in the month of December. It's probably not going to be every other day like I usually do. It's not like you're going to not see me. Like, I'll be out there. So I'll be uploading, probably just not as much as you guys are used to. But don't even worry, because 2024, your guys' socks are going to get blown away. You're not even going to know what to do. It's going to go absolutely crazy. I guarantee you that. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video and if you just enjoyed the journey, man, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, I'm so serious about this. Any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Man, until next time, peace.